Hello, welcome back. Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and this is part 4 now, or part 5, sorry, of the build of the 1/6 scale. Yes, 1/6 scale. It's massive. There's the poster there. It's actually that size, and it's the Shelby GT500 Ford Mustang from 1967. And if you remember, back in part 4, we did a wheel. We made a wheel with the tire, and then we made the wheel. And then we added some stuff to our door. We added the quarter light, and then we've got these parts here from pack 11 to move on into pack 12, into building steps 12 and 13. So here we've got the magazines. We've got 12 and 13 here, and we've got the parts here for 12 and 13. So we've got lots of gears and bits and pieces in here. So I'm assuming that's for the window winder mechanism, and then we've got some trim panels for the door. So looks like we're going to be pretty much finishing the door in this one. We've got a window winder there by the look of it as well. So there's quite a lot in these 2 packs. And that's why I split them off from the other video, because we had 3 fairly simple steps, and it looks like these are a lot more involved, so we can spend a bit more time looking at them. So we also remember, if we got in that pack, we got the free binder as well, which is really handy for keeping your magazines in. And it's a very professional, very nice looking bit of kit as well. There's some lovely images on there of Mustangs that we all know and love. So without further ado, I think we should get down to the bench, have a look at the magazine, and get building. Okay, so here's the magazine for pack 12, and quite a familiar looking picture now, looking at the front of the 427 GT500. What am I talking about? So the Shelby Cobra 427, that's where I got that from. And we can see here a picture, the first finished prototype of the Shelby Cobra 427 making its debut at Sebring in '64. The FIA refused to homologate and put an end to its career as a competition car. Wow, never knew that. So there's the first one there. You can see the massive wheel arches, and we've got a, is that Falcon there? There's a Mustang there. And there's Mr. Shelby himself. The Cobra 427 was very expensive for a road car. Those who bought it were usually professionals, such as doctors, lawyers, airline pilots and business executives. These affluent Americans tend to be more interested in golf and country club activities than in motorsports. So here we've got the left door window mechanism going together. So we'll come back to that in a minute, and we'll have a look at the assembly. So here we've got the Ford GT90, inspiring supercar. I've never even heard of this. Presented at the Detroit Motor Show in 1995, the Ford GT90 was a 720 horsepower supercar inspired by the GT40. Although it did not go into production, it dictated the line for the firm's sports cars in the 21st century. Funny looking thing, isn't it? There's the V12 engine, came from Ford's family of modular engines and was previously tested in a Lincoln sedan. There it is there. Had a long wheelbase for the V12. Kind of looks a bit like a GT350, not a GT50, a 350Z, didn't it? A Nissan 350Z. And then here we've got the forerunner to the new Edge. The GT90 did not make it to the series, but its body was the first application of new Edge design that the US brand used in many of its later series of models. So there we go, there's another page there. You can see there's the XJ220, which the Ford GT90 was built on an XJ220 chassis. Okay, that was a hell of a car. Absolutely awesome thing, the XJ220. Right, so what we will do, we will get to our magazine, our instructions. I think this might be quite technical, so I think what we'll do is get the light on. In fact, we'll leave the light off. We'll have a look at the instructions first. So we've got all our parts here. So we've got our bag of parts here, 12. So the first thing we'll do is check we've got everything. We'll just get the top of the bag cut off there. We can pull it all out. And we can check we have a large gear, a smaller gear. We have a metal plate. We have another smaller gear there. We have this piece there. We have this piece there. And then we have 3 lots of screws, no less. So there we go, we've got all that, so we know we've got everything, so we can put all that to one side. So this is the best way to work when you've got stuff like this, is work through the instructions first so you know what you're going to be doing. So it's retrieve the left door assembly and get ready the door hinge 12D, which is going to be that piece there. Note the mounting direction of the hinge and put it into position in its housing on the inside of the door. Okay, so they're showing it going that way, but it's actually going to go like that, like that. It's going to go into the door. Okay, so make sure you get that the right way around. Next, position the hinge bracket 12C, which is that steel plate, so that the wider part sits over the hinge bar. Lock it into place. 2 pins on the door fit through holes in the bracket. Secure the assembly with a screw as shown. So there's 2 pins and 1 screw. I'd have thought you'd need more than 1 screw to hold that, but never mind. And then here we've got place the internal window guide 12A. 12A. Okay, we've also got a window guide in this previous book here. Fitting its pins in the holes in the post and secure with a DSO2 screw. So we have to be careful here because we've got PSO5, so that's a plastic. We've got DSO4s and we've got DSO2s. So we have to keep these screws individual to make sure we know what we're doing. So we're going to fix all that in place. Now add the window gears. First fit the medium gear, 12E, so that's going to be that one, on the post to the left, blah, 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 blah. And that's all going to go in like that. Okay, so I know where we're going there. We'll go through this as we're doing it. And then we're fitting screws, 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 and more screws. And then we're going to fit the window itself. It's to retrieve the left window supplied with issue 11 and place it in position inside the door. The post on the internal window guide base 12A should fit in the groove of the lower. The post on the internal window guide, so that's the post there, should fit in the groove of the lower section of the window. So that's pretty cool. Check that the toothed edge of the window lower section engages with the teeth of the small gear as shown ringed in red. So there, what's this shows? Next, retrieve the internal window guide 11C from issue 11 and place it on the internal window guide base 12A, so the lug which is a blah 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 blah. That's going to go over the top there and that's going to be screwed in, and that's how it's all going to look. So this is pretty much going to finish off our left door by the look of it. So at least the internals anyway. So right, we've got all our parts here, we've got all our screws. What I'm going to do is cut these bags open like so. We'll keep them separate. Okay, got our 05s there, we've got our 02s there, we've got our 04s up there. We're going to get the light on and we're going to retrieve our door. So here is our door. Remember we did this in the last part. So keep our blanket down on the ground, keep our cloth down on the ground so that we don't scratch the door. So again, we've got these are all 2.3. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab our tap wrench, not our tap wrench, our tap, sorry. We're just going to start the threads off in here. We're going to tap these threads. Now you will not have to see people when they tap a thread, you go one turn back half, one turn back half, one turn back half. That's for larger threads. You don't have to worry about that with small stuff like this. And also this is like a cast metal, so it's very soft. So it doesn't really, it just sort of, when you tap it, it doesn't sort of break off as it just breaks off as tiny little pieces. So you don't need to worry about backing off and everything. And as I say, you can build it without tapping the threads out at all, but I just like to do it because I'm an engineer. And that's how I like to do things. Now these two here, we're not going to be putting any screws in today, so we're going to leave those. And some of these don't even have screws in them at all. So what we're going to do, okay, so a screw's going to go into that one there. So we'll just start that one off. Right. So what we will do, we will start off, we're going to grab this hinge, we're going to get this hinge, make sure it goes in the right way round. You can see here it's angled off that way, so make sure it goes in the right way round. So it sits like that. I thought that was plastic, it's actually metal. So that is going to sit in there like that. If you put it in that way, it will be the wrong way round. You need those screws to be, those hinges to be facing that way. Okay, it doesn't go that way round, as you can see here. So you've got this flat here. It comes down and there's a flat there, you can see. That flat, as you can see there, goes on the inside or on the outside of the door, if you like. Okay, and then we're going to take this metal plate. I'm going to fit that metal plate over those two pins there on the door. That metal plate has gone in like that. And then we're going to take a DS02 screw, this is an 02, and we are going to fit this into that hole. And screw it in. And you can see there. So that's going to be the door closed, so that's going to be the door open. It will actually have a springiness into it. And depending how tight you do it will be how tight the springiness is. Okay, but it's all metal, don't worry about it, it's all very strong. So you can see that clips out, clips in. Okay. Now place the internal window guide, this piece here, and we're going to fit this so that these two pins here go into those two holes there. So that's going to go on like that. You'll tell when it's gone in because it will lock into place. So you can see there the sort of angle it's got to be on. Those two pins on there have to go into there and into there. And then you'll see that screw hole through there. And then once we've got that in, it's telling us to secure it with a DS02 screw again. So we've got DS02 screw in there. We've already tapped the thread. That's going to go in there nice and easy. There we go. You can see where I've got a cloth under this door to stop it getting scratched. Okay, so now we're going to get technical. Right, so now we've got to add the window gears. First, the medium gear 12E, which is this one. First, fit the medium gear 12E onto the post to the left of the hinge bracket. Okay, as shown. So this one is going to go with this part here sticking up. So that's just going to drop down there like that. Then place the large gear 12B on the post to the left of the medium gear as shown. So the large gear is going to go that way up. Okay, so you've got this lug gear that's going to go on the back. It's all a bit wonky, isn't it? And then we've got here, finish by placing the small gear 12F on the post to the left of the large gear as shown. Check carefully the teeth of the three gears are correctly engaged and that rotating the medium gear causes the other two to rotate. So this one is going to go that way round. It's going to mesh in there. So if I turn that, there we go, it's going to make our window go up and down. Right. So let's go over the page. We'll go over the page to page 6. So now we've got DS04 screw. So we've got 3 DS04 screws. So these are the DS04s. And these are actually going to go down into the gears. So the first one is the small one. Remember, I already tapped these holes. So these screws should go in easily. And these should bottom out, I think. Yeah, they're going to bottom out. There's lots of play in those gears, so they're going to turn nice and easily. So that screw there is going to go into there. Just like so. And finally one more DSO4 screw, and that one is going to go into this gear here down in that bore. There we are, so they're all in. So as you can see, when we turn that handle, the window is going to go up and down. So retrieve the window supplied with issue 11 and place it in position inside the door. So we've got to get our window. You've got to be very careful not to scratch it. So it's going to go in with the teeth facing forward, and that lug there is going to go into this slot. So that's going to go like that. We've got a tab there going into there, so you can see there how it's going to work. And that's going to bring the window up. Is that as far down as it's going to go? It's not going down very far, is it? There we go. There we go. Right, so we've done that. Okay, so next retrieve the internal window guide supplied with an issue 11, which is this part here. Okay, and place it on the internal window guide base 12A so that the lug, which has a hole in its centre on the side of the guide, ringed in red, is on the post. Okay, so that's going to go in like that. Okay, and then we are going to fit a DSO2 screw into there. Just like so. That's going to hold that in place, and now we can slide our window up and down. For some reason it's jamming there, we'll have to have a look at that. We can see now why we've got that bit of felt on there. So it's all a bit wonky, but I'm sure it'll all work out in the end. I don't know why, but as we turn it's stiff to turn. There we go. I think what I'm going to do is take this gear out of here. So we'll take that screw out of there. I'm going to take that gear out and I'm going to turn it. I think that has improved things. I've got a feeling that gear is a little bit wonky. So it's obviously, as it's going around, it's going tight where it gets bigger. There we go, that's much better. So there's a little tip for you to make your window work better. Right, and we're going to use a PS05 screw. This is our first plastic screw of the day, and that one is going to go in there. Just pull it down till it stops, don't go over tightening it. Oh yeah, everything's become a lot more rigid now. There we go. That window's a lot more rigid in there now, that's much better. Okay, and that's that. As you can see, it's showing us the finished assembly here. We can wind the window right up. There we go, and it stays up. So there we are. There's our Mustang door externally completed. Looking very nice indeed. So right, so now I think we're going to be looking at the internals. So let's have a look at pack 12. look at pack 12, didn't we? We just been working on pack 12, you dodo. Part 13 is now, pack 13. So another lovely image of the model there. And then going into the magazine, the Mustang in Trans Am racing. So it's a great form of racing. It's really fun to watch. If you've never seen it and you're into your big muscle cars, then go and have a look. Trans Am series, absolutely brilliant. Still going today. You can see here 67 Mustang there, what we're building here. Looking all battered and a bit sorry for itself. And then we've got a 1970 here, beautiful 302 in grabber orange. Very, very nice looking car. And then we've got our instructions for what we're going to be doing. And then here, Carroll Shelby from driver to constructor. Yeah, he started putting his names on a lot of things. So you can see here, Carroll Shelby and Dan Gurney in 1965 Indianapolis 500. There's Shelby there in the 64 24 Hours of Le Mans. I was 1 year old then. And then we've got Carroll Shelby at the wheel of Aston Martin en route to victory in 1959. And then Carroll Shelby makes a Cobra dance, the presentation of the Mustang Shelby GT350 in 1965. He's got a Cobra there and he's playing a whistle. And then going over the page here, yeah, look at the GT500s, absolutely beautiful. Love these things. They are stunning, stunning Mustangs. I'd love to get one day. And very, very nice. And then here we've got Carroll Shelby first on the right. Talks with Roy Salvadori during a change of drivers in the 1959 24 Hours of Le Mans, which they claimed victory. You can see there they are. Right, so let's have a look at building pack 12. This looks like a fairly simple-ish one. So we've got our pack 12, so we've got parts here for the doors, or for the door, should I say. So we'll cut that off there, and we can slide all this out of the bags. Get rid of that bag, and we can check we've got all our parts. So we've got there, we've got this little bag of greeblies here. So I can go over there, so we've got those, that's a 13C and 13E are window crank knob and side mirror adjustment lever, and 13D is the window crank arm. That's that. And then we've got 3 packs of screws. So we've got DSO2s, once again, the DSO2s are the favourite screw of the day. We got PSO7s, there's some tiny little plastic ones there. So make sure we don't get those mixed up. And then we've got PS25, so again they're plastic ones, so this is going to be quite an easy one on the wrist. Right, so we've got our parts there. Now, so the first thing we've got to do is take the window crank knob, 13E, fit the end of the window crank arm, 13D. This is 13D, this is 13E. And we're going to put that in place there. And then we're going to use a PSO7 screw, which is one of these tiny ones. Please come out of the bag. There we go. Now I only want one. I want that screw to go into that hole there. Typical. Always plays up when the camera's on. Okay, so we're going to put that knob into there, and then we're going to grab this screw and just screw that in from behind. Screw that knob on, and then just give the screw a tiny little undo so the knob can turn. There we go. Okay, then we're going to place the side mirror adjustment lever 13E into the hole in the upper trim panel. So this is the side mirror adjustment handle. We're going to place that into that hole. He says. It doesn't want to go in. Read the instructions first, Nige. Note the hole has a flat spot to ensure correct lever orientation. It's round. Correct lever orientation. It's symmetrical. I don't know why they've done that. So it's actually D-shaped, so that's going to go in there. Place the side mirror 13E into the hole. Note that the hole is press the lever into place. Turn the upper trim panel over and secure the side mirror adjusting lever from the back with a PS25 screw. Was that PS25? This must be PS25 here. So that is going to go into there like so. That's why they put a D on there, so you can get the screw in. That's a bit overkill, isn't it, for that little piece? Just a great big screw just to hold that little piece in there. Okay, so that's that in place. And then retrieve the left inner door panel assembly, 8A, which is here. So we've got a left inner door panel assembly. And position the lower trim panel, 13B, as shown, and identify the 4 mounting points and then place the trim in position. So we've got 4 mounting points, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is basically going to sit into there like that. Like that. Okay, so that's going to sit in like that. Note the pins of different thicknesses. The 2 innermost ones are thin and are a press fit, while the other 2 ones are thick and will house fixing screws. So turn the inner panel over and then take 2 of those big PS25 screws and fix this into position. Just going to put those screws in there, get them screwed in like so, and then the same with that one there. There we go, that's our lower trim panel in place. Very sensible to have that on cars because you often kick them and scuff them with your feet, and these days they're just plastic and they get scratched. Very sensible to have that there. So that's that done. Get ready the outside of the left door. Place the inner panel on the inside of the door so that the 2 thick pins of the panel line up with the screw holes of the door as shown in the picture. Place the panel in position and secure it with a DSO-2 screw on each side. So we're going to grab our door with our cloth, just like so. So we get the door down on the bench, on the cloth. And then what we're going to do is fit this in place, and we're going to use the DSO-2 screw. So I'm going to tap that thread there. And I'm going to tap that thread there. Blow them out, and then we can drop our door panel onto here so that everything lines up. Something doesn't feel right here. It feels like we should be fitting the lever, but it's all screwed together so we can always take it apart again. Okay, and then we're going to put 1 screw in here. We're going to put 1 screw in here. That screw doesn't feel right in there. I feel like I've used the wrong screw. Oh no, it is the right screw. Just doesn't feel like it's going in. We grab a different screwdriver. That's not going to fit in there. Where's the little screwdriver that comes with the model? That's better. I thought as much. This red part of the screwdriver was catching on the plastic, so. There we go, that's in now. So that door panel is held on there nice and securely. Okay, so that's those two screws. Next, insert the window crank arm into the hole in the window's medium sprocket 12E through the inside door panel as shown. Press it in, noting that the crank arm has a protrusion that fits into a notch in the sprocket. Check the window moves up and down when the window crank is operated. Now we're going to make sure the window is right up, and we're going to have our window. Okay, so we can't do that, we can't time it. That's going to go in like that, and then we can turn the handle to wind the window up and down. And there we go. Okay. So, I'm wondering now if I need to move that gear around, because they've got this shown as the handle being up that way. So we might need to take that gear out and just turn it so the handle is facing upwards. I'm not sure if that's going to matter going forward, if this might foul on the seat or something. I think I'll just do that. I'll take these screws out of here and I'm going to turn that gear around. Okay, so now we've got it like it's in the magazine. So when the window's up, the handle's up. So remember, when you're doing your part 11, if you have the slot going that way, you're going to be where you want to be. So what it's telling us now, finally place the upper trim panel 13A in position on the inner door panel. The 4 tabs of the trim fit into the rectangular recess in the door panel. Press the trim into place, leaving the interior door opening handle 8C over the trim. So that door handle there is doing absolutely nothing. So I don't quite know how we're going to get that in there. This is going to be fun. There we go. That just clips into place like that. So that interior door handle does absolutely nothing, it's just there for show. There we are. So there's our door finished, and that weighs a ton. This is what the inside of the left door looks like once it has been assembled. So that is our door done, ready to go. It's kind of weird there how the back is held apart. That's very strange. You can see here that when you look along here, if I put the window down, you can see it, the door panel actually tapers off here, the gap opens up. And it can't go in because this is up against the panel there. So what we could actually do is trim some plastic away from there to allow that panel to fit in flush, perhaps. That doesn't seem right. But I'm not going to change anything now because it may need to be like that to fit properly the interior or something. But it looks as though we need to trim sort of 2 or 3 millimeters from here to allow that panel to go back, because at the moment, as you can see, it's being held out. It can't go in because of that plastic there. It's nothing we've done wrong. Very strange. We'll have a look at that again. But there we go, that's pack 13 done. So that's it now for another 3 or 4 weeks, or 5 weeks or whatever. And not sure what's coming next. I've actually managed to get a little scratch on there when I put that in, which is a shame. In fact, if you keep rubbing it, it polishes it. So there we go. You can keep rubbing it and it actually polishes it up. Look. So there we are. That's our door done. Right. So I'll see you all soon for packs 4. It's probably going to be 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So I'll see you then for those. But that is our door all done. with our working handle and everything. So very nice indeed. And as I say, when we get the rest of the kit, we'll have a look at this and see if that is actually right, because I don't think that's right. I think it should go in further, and it's that plastic there that's stopping it going in. But as I say, I don't want to go mucking around with things because I might mess it up. So we shall see. Right, thank you for watching. Bye for now.